In today's video, I'm going to share with you how you can create 5 Christmas swags for your front door to make a statement. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I am Ramon, a Christmas design expert and seasonal decorator, here to help you feel more comfortable about your designs. And in today's video, oh my, if I have a special one for you. I went ahead and took 5 Christmas trees and took them as inspirations in order to create beautiful swags for your front door. In this video, I'm also going to share with you how to make a first statement at the front door. You know, I'm always telling you that you only get one chance to make that first statement when people come to your home. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the steps, the techniques, and everything you need to do in order to create beautiful Christmas swag DIY for your front door. I'm super excited because first I'm gonna share with you the inspiration Christmas tree, then I'm gonna share with you how to make the swag. It's 5 different styles and I am super excited. So if you want to learn how to create beautiful swags for your front door, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp. Why? Well, because it is free and it really helps this channel. Now you guys, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing because you will not want to miss. This whole month of November is going to be jam-packed of beautiful Christmas decorations DIYs. Are you guys ready? Well, I'm gonna share with you first the Christmas tree inspiration, and then I'm going to share with you how to create a beautiful GLAM swag DIY for your front door. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, for our first swag for your front door this year, we're going to grab one of these greenery swags and we're going to fluff. You know, that's always step number 1 when you're making your wreaths, your swags, your centerpieces, your Christmas tree, because look how they come. They come pretty flat on the box for packaging and shipping, but if you just take a few minutes, it's gonna literally take just a few minutes or seconds actually, and just pull every single bristle, because we're gonna need them to tie in into glue. So we need to really make sure they're super fluffy and very, very well manageable. That's the word I'm looking for. So there you go, there's a difference. So I'm gonna put my swag back onto my stand, and that way we can work on it. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our ornaments, and for that I got these gigantic ornaments, and I'm going to make sure that I take the plastic off of this one. This is how they come from our retailers, and so I'm gonna take this plastic off. This is the glitter kind. It is so pretty, you guys. This ornament was only about $4, and I cannot believe how pretty this is. Also, be sure to move that pesky tag off of it. By the way, how are you guys enjoying this year's Christmas season? Isn't this so much fun? I'm gonna grab a wire and then I'm going to put my wire through. I'm going to fold, twist, and that's gonna give me a stem. So I'm gonna start with one of these large ornaments right here, and I wanna make sure that I wire really, really close to the core of that swag so it doesn't go anywhere. So then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab a second one. I'm gonna grab a wire, and this is going to really make a statement on your front door this year, because these ornaments are super large and in charge, and they're really going to be noticeable from a distance. So I'm gonna grab this one and I'm gonna put it right about here. So I'm gonna lift up this other one a little bit, and I'm gonna make sure that I go as close to the core as possible, so that way they look like they overlap together like this. Then I have a third one that I already took the plastic off from, and I'm going to grab a wire. Now what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm going to stagger them down. You know, I'm always telling you, you have to create that step ladder motion going down, so that way it looks very cohesive. So I'm gonna go all the way down here. This is why we have to fluff our swags, because that way you can really use those bristles. So we have one in the middle, one on the left, and then one on the very bottom. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to my ribbon. And I just want to mention these cute little trays from the dollar store, you guys. They really come in handy for gathering your materials together. So for this swag, I'm going to go with a golden champagne theme. So I'm gonna get this champagne ribbon as well as this gold ribbon that is at 1.5 inches and a 2-inch, because I really want those ornaments to show. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop it on the floor. I'm gonna grab my ribbon, I'm gonna give it a tail, and then I'm gonna do a 2-loop bow. Remember to just go down, twist, pinch, and gather like this. I'm gonna twist and pinch one more time, like so. And then we're going to introduce this other ribbon. And so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a little tail, and then I'm going to do a bow, and I'm gonna stagger them like so. I'm gonna drop it on the floor. Sometimes it's just easier to drop it on the floor and work on them from the floor. Then I'm gonna grab a wire. I'm gonna go through here, and I'm going to wire all of this together like this. I love this ribbon because it's loopy and floppy, and it's going to be very, very pretty. So I'm gonna put it right on this side. I'm gonna go all the way down like this. Look how pretty that is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab both of my ribbons, and I'm going to do a big swoop, and I'm gonna go across the ornament. I'm gonna grab this right here, and I'm gonna swoop together, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing going the opposite side. So like this, just twist them together. If it is too loopy, you feel like it needs to be tighter, just pull a little bit on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do one more going down, all the way down, like this. Then I'm gonna cut my tails right here. We'll dovetail those at the end. Remember, I'm always telling you to dovetail your ribbons, because if I come to your house and if it's not dovetail, most likely I will ask you for a pair of scissors. So then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab about a 4-inch tail. I'm gonna do a smaller bow to put on the side to fill in that gap right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a bow like this. So it's a 2-loop bow. I'm gonna grab me a wire. I always like to wire all this together before I put it. I've seen wreath makers where they put the bow first and attach it to like the bristles, but I think it's more secure if you just grab a wire. So look at that. I'm gonna grab this wire and I'm gonna, or this bow, and I'm gonna put on this wire right here. So now I'm gonna have a bow, and then for this, I'm just gonna give it dovetails like that. And I'm gonna do the same with this other ribbon that is 1.5 inches. Dovetail real quick, and then do a cute little bow, maybe about a 6-inch bow. And when I mean 6-inch, you guys, I want to repeat, it's like 6 inches like this, so it would be like 12 inches. And then you fold it in half, so that'll make it a 6-inch bow. I just thought I'd figure, I would mention that to you. And then what I'm going to do, so I'm gonna attach this bow right here, along with that. Look at that. And then also I'm gonna give this a little tail. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna repeat another one right here, and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, so now that we're done with our ribbon technique, which basically is a bow right here, a bow right here, and a bow right here. And look how we stagger them out to make it look more intentional. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some smaller ornaments just to fill in some of these gaps before we move on to some other pretty elements. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab one, put it up here on the very top. So I'm gonna do one right there. And the easiest way to do it is to wire it, you guys. I'm always telling you, you can always repurpose these ornaments. If you're doing it for your home, you can always repurpose them later on for future years. And if you're doing it to sell, then you can always allow your customers to know that it's going to be very safe on the door and it is not going to go anywhere. If you glue it together, sometimes with the sun or the elements, they might come flying off, you know, in the middle of the summer or in the middle of the winter, depending on the wreath you're making. But if you are wire them together, then there is no way that this is going to come off. if you really take the time to properly wire. All right, so I'm gonna grab a shiny one, and as you guys can see, I did one right here, two right here. I'm going to do one on the bottom. And these are just like the little jewels for the door, you guys. I'm gonna grab this guy right here, and I'm going to make sure that it looks all the way down. Sorry if I disappear for a second. And then I'm going to move on to this side, and I'm gonna put one right here. I feel like that will be our last one, because there's other pretty elements that I'm going to add that are really gonna take center stage. This is just basically a filler, if you will. All right, so I'm gonna grab this bristle and go all the way in like this. So now it's looking pretty full, right? This is my favorite part, you guys, the picks, stems, and florals. If you know me, you know that I have a 4-step process, whether I'm decorating a Christmas tree, a wreath, or a swag, which is ribbons first, ornaments second, stems, picks, and florals third, and then accent ribbons at the end. So kind of break the rules a little bit when you are doing swags and wreaths, because sometimes adding the bigger ornaments really just make more sense, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these flocked pieces to add some texture to my swag. And I'm gonna start with some of the really flocked ones. And for that, I have my hot glue gun over here that I put on my stand. So I'm gonna add enough glue on my swag to add to my, look at that, to my stem. So I'm going to add, as you guys can see, just be very generous with it. And then start right here, work your way out. And when you insert your stem, you guys, I really do recommend to insert it sideways, so that way it gives it that beautiful designer look. Instead of putting it flat like this, twist it a little bit. So I'm gonna add one. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm gonna add one right here. And if you just continue to do this motion, you're going to have a really pretty swag. Now, I have to tell you this right here were from a wreath from David Christopher's. And I just love the color because it goes so well. It's a greenery, but it goes so well with the gold and the champagne. So I took that wreath apart and I used the picks, because you know what? That wreath is already mine. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I use as much as I can from those elements to, well, get my money's worth, right? So I'm going to add one more right here. I'm gonna go over to this side like this. Now think of a core. This is going to be our core. So from here going up, from here going down. So that way it's really well balanced. I don't like that one. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I like these ones better. I'm going to go ahead and add the one on the bottom first to make sure that I don't disappear too much. So I'm going to add one right there. Let that dry. I'm going to add a few more. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this Christmas 2024 series. I'm having so much fun sharing with you all of these beautiful DIYs in hopes to inspire you to create some beautiful decorations for your home. And remember, all of these swags are going to be inspired by other Christmas trees that we've done in the past. So that way you have a Christmas tree and then a swag for your front door. And I'm thinking about doing the centerpieces, you guys, all of the centerpieces. So that way I can help you have a more cohesive look in your home this year. All right, so I'm gonna go over to this side. I'm gonna add it right here. So that's starting to fill in, right? But I feel like here on the top, I need a really flocked one. So I'm gonna add this one. And remember to always go, what goes up must come down. What goes to the right, what happens on the right happens on the left. All right, so I feel like right behind this ornament, we need one. There you go. So now we're talking. That is turning out so pretty. So we're gonna move on to our next pick, and that's going to be some of these heavily flocked in silver, beautiful picks from Walmart, believe it or not. And what I like about this, look how beautiful this is, you guys. It really opens up. So I wanna make sure, I wanna see if I can pull it. Because like I'm always telling you, I already paid for it, so I wanna take as much advantage as I can from this pick. So this one I had cut in half. So I wanna see if I can pull them out. Can I use them? Oh yes, you can, look at that. Just have to put some muscle into it. But look at that, you guys. That gives us 3. Let's see, this one. Is it a 1, 4, and 5 out of 1 pick. Great. So I'm going to start with that. Look how stunning this is. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're going to add some glue right here. And then I'm gonna start right about here. And that's going to add that beautiful sparkle. Now these wires are a little long, so I'm gonna have to grab my wire cutters. Actually, you know what? Instead of cutting it, what you could do is bend it in half. And then that way there's more space for glue. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut it in half. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see the matching centerpieces for all of these swags, you guys. That way you have the Christmas tree, the swag for the front door, and then the centerpiece. I think that'd be a good idea. Or if you want to see the matching lanterns, perhaps. Let's see, I'm gonna put one right here. Look how stunning this is. And this was under $5. I cannot believe it. Okay, I'm gonna add the one on the bottom. You know, remember, I always say what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down. So every time that I put the one on the top, I like to go back down and make sure that I have that element going all the way down. All right, so we're going to add now, fold this in half. Let me see, I feel like it needs one coming out of here. So we're gonna add that one, fold my pick in half, add the glue, and then we're going to go right here. Wow, that is so pretty, isn't it? All right, so I think that's all I'm going to add for that particular stem, because I really just wanted to catch the light. But here is a piece of resistance for this beautiful swag, and that's going to be these beautiful magnolia flowers. I have 3 of them because I already have all of these big ornaments. I wanted to add another element to really make it oomph in the door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend a little bit of the stem. I'm going to add some glue to it. And then I'm going to decide where do I want them. I want one right here. Probably the biggest one's going to go right there to the side. I'm going to add maybe one right here. Another one. And look how I put this one up, like going up instead of inserting like this, because that will give me more play on my ornament. Look at that. And then I'm going to add the last one on the very top. All right, so I'm gonna add this guy right about here. And look at this. Isn't that absolutely stunning? I'm gonna put that on the door and show you the end result. Keep watching. And here is the end result on this beautiful swag for your front door. Look how absolutely gorgeous the magnolia look on this beautiful swag. The ornaments are oversized. The bows make so much difference going across the swag, and you guys, all of the glitter, it's super glam with the ornaments and the pics. I had so much fun sharing this one with you, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Wasn't this swag absolutely gorgeous? You guys, glam is one of my favorite themes for Christmas, and I'm super excited to bring you even more glam DIYs. But this gorgeous swag is sure to make a statement on your front door this holiday season. All right, so let's move on to our next beautiful Christmas tree inspiration and swag DIY. Let's take a look. And I'm gonna start with this one because it is the thickest out of all of them. So it's gonna cover a lot of the perimeter of our wreath. So I'm gonna start with a dovetail like that. You guys have seen me do this before, so I'm just gonna pinch right here. And then I'm going to fold under, fluffing my bow and making a really pretty bow. Then you're gonna twist, and then you're gonna go ahead and do another bow. Now you have to have really good quality ribbons to kind of create this really pretty bow effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do yet another one right here. This is going to be mainly ribbons on this swag, and it's gonna be so much fun. You guys will just see. So I'm gonna do a 4-loop bow right here, like this. This is gonna be our main ribbon. I'm gonna grab one of my wires right here and I'm gonna go ahead and twist on the back really tight. I cannot stress that enough to you guys. You have to do it really tight. Then I'm gonna grab these wires and I'm gonna go ahead and start right here on the top, flipping our ribbon. And you can always take your swag out of your stand. A lot of you guys ask me where I got this stand. This is actually a funeral wreath stand. You can find this at any of your florists. If you live in the California area, any floral supply like Shinoda Design Center has this type of ribbon. So I have a 4-loop bow right here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and bring this guy, the polka dot one with the greens and the reds, and I'm gonna go ahead and dovetail. And I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. So basically do one loop like this. Then I'm going to fold under. And for this particular bow, because it is a smaller ribbon, you want the loops to be a little bigger than the other one, because this one, you don't want it to overpower all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do maybe a 3. So we're gonna do a 3-loop bow. And remember, what we're doing basically is building the bow on the top by adding different ribbons and different bows. I love this technique. It is so much fun. It is super easy to decorate any ribbon, tree, wreath. And as you guys can see, just by adding that right here is creating your bow. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the loops. Just make sure that you take it off and then you twist all of these wires together. And then at the end, you can cut the excess. This particular swag does come with a hanger on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that my ribbon is all ready like this, as you guys can see. Then I'm gonna add the third one, which is going to be this polka dot one right here. So I'm gonna add that to the floor and I'm gonna go ahead and dovetail my ribbon. And with this particular one, I'm going to do a 2-loop. So once again, you always start with your dovetail end and then you go ahead and do your bow, but this big, and then you're gonna grab your wire. It is easier if you have your wires already pre-cut, and I've told you this, guys, many times before. This is a 22 gauge wire that comes on a bolt, and I just take the time to pre-cut it. That way it's faster. So basically we're gonna go ahead and add the third ribbon, and look how fun that is already. Then you fold, and then you find your wire back here, and it's getting a little tight, just like this. Then of course we fluff all of our bows, and we're gonna hang this guy back into our stand. Look how fun that is. All right, so far we have 3. I'm gonna add the 4th one. How fun is this? And for this particular one, because it is the smallest one, I'm gonna go ahead and do a 3, but not without dovetailing this guy right here. I cannot wait for you guys to see the end result. This is gonna be so much fun. Once again, if you have any kids or grandkids, I really recommend to do something fun with them. Basically, Christmas is for the children, and so I really recommend to do something fun for them this year. So whether it's a technique or the characters, just give them something extra special, because it has been a tough year for everybody. So I am gonna do something fun for my little nephew, who's only 1 year old, and I cannot wait for him to see what we're doing for the holiday season. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this guy right here on the other side to complete our bow. So one more time, I'm gonna unhook it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just find a way all the way around and grab that wire on the back and then just twist them around. And as you guys can see, that gave us a super fun bow on the top. And I'm gonna go ahead and just hang it back up. And you have all of the ribbons. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. This really is cute. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and start with this guy. I'm gonna bring it over to this side. Then I'm gonna give it a loop right here. I'm gonna pinch, and once again, go all the way into the swag to create that loop, all right? Then I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy right here and giving it a bigger loop, because remember, we're gonna add some other items, so you want those loops to be extra fluffy, because they are going to get lost if you don't fluff this guy right here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy and make one more loop by pinching right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way basically to the root of the swag, and look at that. Now remember, we always fluff these bows at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy right here. And I'm gonna kind of go ahead and bring it to this, actually over here to the corner. So there's something on the outside. Now I'm gonna stop right here, because Like I told you, this character is going to be our main character on this swag. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy. So I already pre-wired it. So I just basically attach it to the waist. You know what I just noticed? That I still have the tag hanging from this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that because tags are tacky, remember? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it, I have my focal point right here. Then I don't want it to go all the way down and cover the bottom. I want it to be about 2/3 down from the swag, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach. So I'm gonna take my swag one more time off the stand just so I can put this character in here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those 2 wires, and I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way to the back. Do you know at this point, if you have a little elf that can help you, I really recommend the help. Because as you guys can see, it's a little tough, but we're gonna get it done. All right, after wrestling with my little character right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put the swag back into my stand so we can continue on. But as you guys can see, he just creates a really fun focal point right here that's gonna look extra fun on your door. So then I'm gonna continue with my loops. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna now bring this guy forward over this way, and then I'm gonna pinch right here. And then remember to go all the way in so the ribbon looks like it's being intentional coming out of the swag. And then I skipped over to this side, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this guy right here, creating a loop, twisting those ribbon wires on it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add this one right here. So I'm gonna do a bigger loop. You know, some ribbons are a little bit more difficult to work with, and I really do believe the quality does matter when it comes down to ribbon. The better the quality, the more and easier it is to work with them than if you don't have quality ribbons. So far so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and then bring this guy, do another loop right here. I don't want him to get lost, so therefore I'm not gonna go ahead and swap ribbons at this point. So I'm just gonna continue on that side. As I weave them in and out on this side, as you guys can see, I'm alternating. On this side, I'm just keeping it simple because he's on that side. All right, so then I'm gonna go ahead and swap over here. I'm gonna go ahead and do another loop, attach right here with my bristle. Then this guy right here, I'm gonna go ahead and pinch. How fun is this? This is so cute. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy right here and pinch and do yet another loop like this. All right, so I think at this point I'm just gonna dovetail some of my ribbons, and we'll fluff at the end, of course, because there's going to be more elements of ribbon coming your way. So at this point, I just recommend to dovetail all of your ribbons. All right, you guys, so far we've added our main character right here. He's looking outside, and then I whipped all of the ribbons and did those dovetails. But now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these ribbon that I have left over, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do some fun bows. So I'm gonna dovetail right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a bow. But this occasion, I'm gonna do a 2 right here on my hand. Then I'm gonna bring this other ribbon that is super fun, and I'm gonna go ahead and dovetail this ribbon, as you guys can see. Thumbs up if you guys are having fun this holiday season. I'm having so much fun teaching you all of these tricks of the trade, and it's just been so much fun creating all of these looks for you guys. And I really just hope that you are enjoying these videos this holiday season. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do one loop, twist, and then do another loop right here. And I'm gonna do 3 of these guys right here, like this. I was gonna leave that tail long like that. Then I'm gonna grab a 3rd ribbon right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy right here. And for this particular one, I'm just gonna do a 1 loop just to give it that extra accent of ribbon. I'm gonna cut right here. So now what you need to do is grab your wire like this, and we're gonna wire all of this together, and look how easy it is. Just by really tightly, I cannot stress that enough. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this guy right here. We'll dovetail in a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and do this bow right here. Just go all the way in to the swag so it looks intentional. And just swirl that wire into some of your bristles all the way in, pulling your ribbon in so it looks like it grew out of the swag. And look how fun. So now you have a bigger bow right here. You have a small bow right here with all of the ribbons. Go ahead and dovetail all of your ribbons like the ones I didn't finish. All right, everyone, so I went ahead and pre-wire some of these really basic red ornament and as well as some green ones. And that's what I'm gonna go ahead and add first. So I'm gonna go and push my ornament all the way to the inside right here. And just by grabbing that wire, swirl that into one of your bristles. It should stay right where you put it. So I'm gonna do a red one up here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put a green one in here. So it really helps if you grab one of the bristles on the inside. So push that wire through, like I said, and pull it as hard as you can, and then just go ahead and twist that wire into one of your bristles, and the ornament should stay exactly where you put it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you another technique, and I do have my hot glue pen over on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab right here and open all of my bows. And just by dipping your ornament into your glue, then it's going to be able to stay exactly where you want it. And I'm gonna use the exact same technique for some of these ornaments that are funner. And I love this polka dot one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly dip into my glue, as you guys can see. Then I'm gonna go ahead and open over on this side, and I'm gonna push that ornament right here, and it's going to stay right where I need it. I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the elements that we added to our whimsical Christmas tree was this candy cane. So I saved some of them, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these guys into my swag so it is a lot funner looking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dig into my glue, let it run a little bit down. Be careful because this is kind of warm, and I'm gonna go open my swag, and I'm gonna go ahead and start installing them like this. I want them to poke out of my swag. Okay, so I have to tell you guys a secret. I was shooting this and my camera totally died. The battery was done and I had to wait. So what I want to explain you real quick is what I did is I grabbed some of these candies that I have that we also put on that whimsical tree, and I went ahead and I keep on saying dig, but like I dipped, or I put some glue on it, I guess I should say, dip into my glue. So I went ahead and put one right here, one right here. So I wanna go ahead and bring one more down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up right here, and I'm gonna push it in. And that glue should make it stay right where I put it, right by my character. So he looks like he's sitting down on it. And like what I like about that glue is because, as you guys can see, it really just stays where you put it, and as it dries, it'll make it stay right there. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some picks, and I like this holly because it's green and it's so pungent, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. What I also like about these picks is that you can cut them into 3s, 2s, and 1s. You can use it as a 1, but for this occasion, I'm gonna cut it into 3, so I can continue to add, and then go ahead and fluff all of your foliages. As you guys can see, we just make a little pick. So I'm gonna add one over to this side. So I'm gonna dig into my glue and I'm gonna go ahead and let it run down. I'm gonna open up my bristles right here and just put it in there. And look at that. It continues to add. This one comes really flat like this. It comes this curly cue. Go ahead and pull it, give it a little life. Just dig into your glue, let it run. And as it runs, it'll cool down. I'm gonna go ahead and put a day one up here. I always love to create a beautiful and whimsical look for the front door, especially if you have kids around the home. Remember, the holidays are for the children. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at our next Christmas tree inspiration, which is a beautiful peacock theme. And then I'm gonna share with you how to create the most beautiful Christmas swag in a peacock inspired look. Let's take a look. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some bows and some loops So basically what I'm going to do, I already dovetail obviously my ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch right here, and then I'm going to fold down. Now we have to be very careful how big the loops are, because obviously the swag is not really that wide. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 2 loops. I'm going to tie it very tightly right here. And then, you know, the other day my thumb was hurting. I was like, why is my thumb hurting? Why is my thumb hurting? I just now realized it's because of the wire pulling. Literally, I just realized that. All right, so I'm going to put it right here to one side. And I'm going to go all the way in. I'm going to grab a bristle and twist. And we're going to make sure that we have the ribbon looking like it's growing from our garland. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this loop over this side. I'm going to do about a 10-inch loop. I'm going to open my swag, and then I'm going to attach right here. And look how beautiful that looks. So we're going to do one. And then I'm going to go over to this side. I'm going to do another loop right here. So I'm going to crisscross it right here to the middle and go all the way in, because by going all the way in, that's what creates this loop right here, you guys. And then I'm going to go all the way down, and I'm going to create one more right here like that. And because I finished right here, what I want to do is I want to grab another of the same ribbon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another 2 loop bow. So 2 twists. We always want to make that twist to make sure that that beautiful side is forward. And I'm going to grab this wire and attach right here. And this one I'm going to attach right where I left off of the other one. And that's going to give us an even bigger bow right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do yet another loop, a big one, and this is what's going to end our swag right here. And up until now, I'm going to leave that long tail like that. I'll decide later where I want to cut it. So that's what it looks like so far. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, but with the accent ribbon. So we're going to do about a 6-inch tail pinch. Once again, you guys, designing is about just letting your eye dictate where it is that you want your items to go. It really, there is no rhyme or reason, as long as you learn the techniques, and that, I mean, hopefully ingraining that on your mind, that what happens on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down, and hopefully you learned that enough by now. And I also want to say thank you to every single one of you who has been watching the channel for a while. You guys, I gotta tell you a story. So a few weeks ago, I went to this little town called Big Bear here in California, Big Bear Lake or Big Bear City. And I was just sitting there listening to music, live music. That is one of my things that I like to do when I'm out, just listening to live music. And guess what? This lady says, Ramon. What? Ramon? In Big Bear City? I just cannot believe that you guys have been so gracious enough to say hi when I'm out and about. I love it because it makes me realize the reach that this channel has. And so I invited her, you know, have a drink, and she was a host mom. If you're watching, I cannot remember your name, so I'm so sorry. But she was a host mom. She was there with her host children, and so I invited them for dinner, and we just had such a great time. And I just want to say thank you for, like I told her, the support of this channel really means a lot to me. Because I am able to do what I love, which is kind of share all of these crazy ideas with you guys. All right, so I'm going to dovetail this one right here. All right, so I am back and I have all my beautiful ornaments right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding some of these large ornaments, and I just love how absolutely gorgeous these are. So I'm going to open my ribbons right here, and I'm going to grab one of these bristles, and I'm going to twist like that to make sure that they secure in place. So I'm going to add one of these purple ones just right underneath it. And remember to pull all the way in, so that way that ornament does stay in place. If you wanted to, at this point, you could actually just go ahead and glue them. But you guys know that I do this to share with you all of these ideas. So I have to not glue my ornaments. But if I'm doing this for my Etsy shop or for a client, then of course we're going to glue this. But that's why the wire comes in handy. when it comes down to teaching, because that way we can, look, stay right there. And so now I'm gonna grab yet another one of the really big purple ones, and I'm going to add it all the way here on the bottom, and you'll be able to see this when I am going to share with you on the door. So stay tuned. All right, so far I have 4 large ones. I'm gonna add a few of these smaller ones. It is the same ornament, but I'm going to attach close to the purple one right here, and that's gonna fill in, like you guys can see right here. And I'm going to add a few of the lavender ones, and I'm going to add one right on this side, like this. I'm gonna add another one over here, over to the top. At this point, I want to basically fill in with the lavender ones because they are the smaller ones. So I'm gonna add right here. And just by twisting that wire into a bristle, that ornament is going to stay right in place, like so. I'm gonna grab yet another one. I'm gonna put it on this side. Remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. So I have to twist this to me so that I can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna put that one right there. And then I'm gonna add all the way on the bottom right here. I'm gonna grab a bristle. And don't be afraid to move your, your swag and to play with it, because we want to make sure that we get all of these elements, and then at this point we kind of want to give it a fluff like this. And I just like to cut them all at once, as I'm sure you know. And then we have this other berry right here. What I like about this one is because it's just paper wrapped, so all you have to do is pull, and look, you have all of these berries on your stem. You guys, don't be afraid to cut all of your stems because you already paid for them, so might as well get yourself some big bang for your buck. And so we're gonna strip them all like that. Let me do one more while we tell you that if you are new to the channel, I really do hope you consider subscribing. And if you are subscribed, well, don't forget to turn that notification bell on, you guys, so you are notified about the holiday season 2023, because it's just now getting started and I am super excited. All right, so now that we have all of our berries in our stems, what we're going to is we're gonna grab one right here, and by adding our hot glue gun. If you have a hot glue pen, you can also use that, but for this particular one, I'm going to use my glue gun. And we're gonna start on the top. I know so many people that haven't seen the channel is like, can you just shut up and get to work? But I like to talk because I feel like I get to talk to my friends every time that I make a video. You guys are like my friends. So we're gonna start on the top, and we're going to move to our right in a zigzag motion. So I'm going to start going this way. You don't have to have the same element all on one side. You can play and just go in this motion. If you start doing this S motion as you go down, you're gonna make sure that you have the same element all throughout your swag. So that is a tip I can give you. I don't think I ever told you that. So if you don't have elements for the swag for all of it, what you can do is just go on a zigzag motion or an S motion all the way down, and I'll share with you. Here, I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna share how it went like this, and it's not all the way down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna see how I'm gonna cut this guy. Let me see. We're gonna leave the berries at the end, and how can we cut this guy right here? I think one at a time, it's good. I'm gonna try something different here. So let me cut right here. Once again, if you are making this for sale, don't be afraid to cut your ribbons, to cut all of your stems, because you guys, you already paid for it, so might as well just get the most bang for your buck. All right, so I'm gonna add some glue. You know what, I feel like this is too long, so I'm gonna try and cut even shorter. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna add some glue to it. I'm gonna start right on the other side now. So I'm gonna go over to this side, and I'm going to the same motion, but now I'm gonna go opposite direction, okay? So we're gonna try something new and crazy. And that's what I'm telling you, always to try. Just give it a try, you guys. You don't have to like be afraid. It's just crafting, The worst thing you can do is that you burn yourself like I just did. And well, you can always put a band-aid on, which is what I do. I'm gonna cut this little wire right here. You know, I met one of the ladies. If you're watching also, I met one of the viewers on when I went to the Shinoda meet and greet. And she was so nice, and she was telling me how she wanted to start a business, but she was so scared to try because she was afraid that she was not gonna sell anything. And I told her to just give it a try, because when I started designing, what I did is I quit my job, literally quit my job. I wanted to do this design job, and so I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought $200 worth of merchandise, you guys. $200 I didn't even have, because I had just quit my job, so I had no money to be spending on just crafting materials, right? But I went there and I bought $200, I remember, uh, worth of product, and then I started designing, and I took all of these designs, I took pictures, and I took all those designs to this flower shop that was in town, and I just felt so confident. And I remember telling the gentleman, you know, I wrote a letter. I wrote a little letter, and I said that I thought I had a God-given talent, and that everybody that saw my work thought that I deserved an opportunity. I remember like it was yesterday. And so one day he calls me into his shop, and then he sits me down, and I was like, yes, I got the job of my dreams, right? And he's like, well, I cannot hire you because I'm fully staffed, but he's like, but you do, he's like, I can tell that you have talent on your pictures, and I know that you have passion because of your letter. He's like, but unfortunately, well, I cannot hire you right now. So that broke my heart, and so I had to go, I had to go back to my old job and ask for it. So I'm so grateful that they gave it back, and so I continued selling furniture for a while. I think it was 2 months that I sold furniture. But one day the gentleman fell sick, and so they had to hire a designer, and guess what they called? Yours truly. So I was telling that lady that those $200 were perhaps the best $200 that I spent, because not only they gave me the confidence, and then I continued to practice, but like I said, I got the job after a few months, and I just am so thankful that I did. And so I told her, I was like, all you have to do is try. Try, and sooner or later you will sell something. You will, well, succeed at it if you keep going. All right, so now I'm gonna add some of this berry, and I'm gonna add this really short. I want it to be kind of like a filler. So I wanna add it really packed into my design. And I'm just gonna fill in some of these gaps like this, and look at that. See how that just touches everything else, and it kind of helps to blend in. You guys, this berry is so pretty. And like if you saw, I just pull it apart, and once again, I'm gonna go in that S motion all throughout my design, all the way down. Thumbs up if you are a wreath maker. I wanna know, leave me a comment. If you are a wreath maker, if you do this for a living, I want to know what is your favorite tip that you've ever learned, whether it was here on this channel or somewhere else. If you make this to sell, I do want to know what is it that, how can I help you, you know, achieve a better goal, whether it's on Etsy. Do you sell on craft stores? Do you sell on craft fairs? How do you sell? I want to know all of it. Okay, so I'm going to continue adding this berry, like I said, in the S motion, going down by adding some of these right here. And as you guys can see, like I'm doing the middle, and this berry is really tying in with a beautiful ornament right here. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a longer one. When you get past the middle down, you need to start facing them down, because that way it looks like, it looks more balanced if you put them down than if you actually face them up. Okay, so I'm going to also leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what is your theme this Christmas? Have you picked a theme? Have you chose a theme for your holiday decorating? I want to know. I'll tell you what mine is in a video coming up very soon, because I'm going to do a shopping haul with the things for the home tour. And I'm super excited for you guys to see what we're going to be doing for the holiday season this year at my house, because it is always my favorite time of the year when we get to do the home tour. And so I'm super excited to share with you guys. Okay, so I need to kind of get away from it to see where it is that I need to add some of this berry. Oh my gosh, look how absolutely gorgeous this swag for your front door turned out. You guys, this color combination of the peacock feathers, it really is one of my favorite ones. As I mentioned to you before, this gorgeous velvet ribbon. Just by adding some loops to it, it really adds some richness to the swag and the butterflies, you guys. Isn't that just absolutely stunning? All of these colors can be also found on the beautiful peacock Christmas tree that I did. If you have not seen that, I'm gonna link it down below so you can check it out. But I just cannot wait to share with you more and also to read your comments. So leave me a comment and let me know what do you think. You guys, I love the way this swag turned out. The peacock theme is super beautiful and I love how glam it looks on the door. But now I'm going to share with you the Christmas tree inspiration for the most glam Christmas tree that I think I've ever decorated, and especially the swag. It is silver, it is sparkly. Let's take a look. Let's get started so we don't take a lot of time. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna drop my ribbon here on the floor and I'm gonna give it a dovetail with my scissors. Now remember to always have your scissors, your wire cutter, and your wires at the ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna create a little tail. Now keep in mind I already fluffed this guy right here because when it came out of the box, honey, it was flat. Let me just tell you. So I'm gonna do some oversized loops. Remember, everything on this that we're gonna use is going to be oversized, so you have to make some oversized loops. So I'm gonna get some wires out. You guys, I've been having so much fun. It's not even funny how fun I'm having. So I'm gonna put this bow right here to the side. And remember to go all the way in and spin that wire into your bristle. And then what I'm going to do, so I'm gonna give it a big swoop right here, and I'm gonna make a beautiful swoop, and then I'm gonna do another one that it gets smaller, and then I'm gonna do another one that gets smaller. And remember, if your ribbon is a designer ribbon, which means it has a print on one side, you always have to make sure that that printed side is facing forward. So that way you get your money maker, what I call what you pay for, which is the print. All right, so now I'm gonna do yet another one, but for this occasion, let's see, let me dovetail right here. For this occasion right here, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller because it's gonna go right here in the middle. Oh, I haven't done a loop, you guys. I haven't done a loop and I was ready to wire. Also, I have my hot glue pen over here heating up because we're going to glue some things. Remember, the smaller you make those loops, the more loops you have to make, so it really makes an impact. And never forget to give it that twist. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and insert this bow right here. We're gonna fluff in a second. Remember to go all the way in, as you guys can see, like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a loop right here. And then I'm gonna do another smaller one right here. I will put this on the door at the end so you guys can see what it looks like. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this holiday season. I think it is the best holiday season yet here at Ramon at Home. And leave a comment and let me know what has been your favorite project that we've done this year at holiday season here at Ramon at Home. I really wanna know what was your favorite project for this holiday season. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab one of those big ornaments and I'm gonna wire it, you guys. Remember that if you wire it, then you don't have to glue it and you can repurpose it. And I'm going to go right here, dead center. I'm gonna go all the way in and I'm gonna spin around right here, like this. And I want both of the larger ones to be kind of close together because they're going to create a moment. When somebody sees this on your door, they're sure to be wowed. So make sure you put that wire in there. And remember, one is facing to the north, one is to face to the south. I'm gonna move this to me for a second so I can see where I need to put it. Grab that bristle and go all right here in the middle and go all the way in and twist that really good. These ornaments are not heavy, but they are large. So you have to make sure that you twist that really good so they don't go anywhere. And look at that. That just created that statement moment right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go in with a smaller one. Let me see, which one do I want to put? I think I'm gonna put this one right here because I have two of them. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna make sure, I don't have my glasses on. I can barely see where the little hole is. I'm gonna go right here, and then I'm gonna go all the way in. I'm gonna twist like that. And so now we have a cluster of 3, and I'm gonna add one right here to continue down. Isn't this fun, you guys? I'm gonna add some greeneries and some glitter picks, and it's just gonna make it really shine. So I'm gonna go one step down right here. I'm gonna go all the way in, and I'm going to put that there, like that. And then the last one that I have of the large ones, I'm gonna grab my scissors and cut the little string that it comes with. I'm gonna do all the way to the bottom. You guys might be thinking, Ramon, you've lost your mind. That is too big, but trust me when I tell you, this is gonna be so gorgeous on the door, and it's going to make a statement where like it's going to be seen from far away. Look at that, oh my God. How fun. All right, so now I have a smaller one. And remember, when you're decorating, you have to work in sets of 2s, 3s, and 1s. So I'm going to have this over here in the middle to make a set of 3, a set of 2, and a single one over here. So I'm going to add this one right here. And remember to go all the way in. Let's see. I need it right about here. Remember to go all the way in like that. And then do that. We'll fluff all of these ribbons at the end. All right, so I have all of these ornaments right here. They really make a statement, but I have a whole bunch of dead space, as you guys can probably see right here. I have a bunch of old space. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna add some of my ribbon. And so I'm gonna dovetail right here. And I wanna make smaller bows. So I'm gonna probably say about a 6-inch loop. I'm gonna twist around. I'm going to pull, and then I'm gonna do a 2, and then I'm gonna cut right here. I'm gonna grab one of my wires, and this is gonna be kind of like a filler for all of the dead spaces, like right here. I'm gonna start adding all this ribbon, and remember to go all the way in, like this. You wanna fluff. This one I didn't dovetail, so I'm gonna make sure that I dovetail, like that. So then I'm gonna add another one right here. And you guys, don't be afraid to cut your ribbons. You already paid for it. You know, for you to be able to do with ribbon what ribbon was intended to be, you have to cut it. There is no way that you're gonna achieve a goal with ribbon if you just try to not cut it because it was expensive or X, Y, or Z. Just cut it. You can always repurpose it in another way later on. So I'm gonna add one right here, and I'm gonna go all the way into my, like that, and I'm gonna make sure that I dovetail this guy, like this. This is kind of like your supporting actress right here, and I'm gonna add one right here as well. You have to let your eye dictate where is it want to live. Where does it want to be? All right, so I'm gonna add one more. I'm gonna do a 3 loop, and look how easy it is to make these bows, you guys. Making this swag shouldn't take you more than like 15 to 20 minutes once you have the practice. And I think the best thing you can do is like not overthink about it, not really judge it. You have to let it be what it is, which is just a swag. I'm gonna add one right here, and I'm gonna go all the way in like this. And then look, you kind of flatten them, and then you go back in there, and then you fluff and you dovetail your little tails like this. Look how fun. Make sure that all of your glitter shows. And I'm gonna add one right here supporting those big ornaments. Remember, they're larger ornaments, so you kind of have to cover, but don't put too much ribbon. We're gonna add some greenery, and also we're going to add some glitter picks that are going to also fill in those spots. This is going to be the last ribbon I add for now. I might have to add later on when we're done with the picks. We might have to add a little bit more, but as of right now, that'll be it. I'm gonna cut right here. Grab one of my wires. I'm trying to go as fast as I can so you guys can see how easy it really is to make these swags. I'm gonna put this guy right here. Grab your bristle and go all the way in and spin it around. And then fold up. Look at that. And so now I'm gonna cut this guy right here. Okay, so now I'm done with the ribbon for now. I might need some later. And so what I wanna do is I wanna add some of these flocked cedar picks. This is my favorite thing that I love adding to my swags, wreaths, Christmas trees, because it really changes the look. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna make sure that I add a little bit of my glue, and look how you bend it and you can give it a little of life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it right here into my glue and let it drip down. And I'm gonna go right here where my very top is, and I'm going to insert right there. And that just adds that greenery that is going to separate the green and the ribbon. And be sure you give them a lot of life. Now, I'm gonna tell you a secret right now. I'm gonna be carrying this myself in my own shop next year for Christmas. I'm gonna provide you with the ribbons and the picks that I think are the must-haves for the holiday season, but more on that later, you guys. So you're gonna be able to get it straight from me starting this next holiday season. Thumbs up for that. I won't have to send you somewhere anymore. All right, so I'm gonna get another one and I'm going to split it in half like that. Once again, don't be afraid to cut all of your stems because you already paid for them. And look how pretty this is. This is just absolutely love it. I love a flat cedar. You guys know that's my favorite pick to work with. All right, be sure without glue because it's hot. So I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna add, and look at that. Oh my gosh. So pretty. I'm gonna add the other one up here. And as you guys can see, this cedar pick is really supporting all of the other elements and is giving it that flyaway three-dimensional that I always tell you guys you have to create. I'm gonna add this one right here, like that. Look how it's giving it that three-dimensional. I'm gonna put one coming right here. This has been so much fun. I cannot wait to read your comments, you guys. I just love reading your comments when you tell me that you've learned a new trick or that you used it around your home. So be sure to leave me a comment to let me know what is your favorite project you've watched here at Ramon at Home this holiday season. You know I read all of your comments. Right now during the holiday season, I might not be able to answer all of them. I tried, but I do read all of them, I promise you. All right, so now I have that one right there. I'm gonna come with this one over here to elongate my shape. I'm gonna put a lot of glue on this guy. Don't be afraid to be generous with your glue. I'm gonna lift this ornament and I'm just going to insert right there. All right, everyone, so I just want to show you real quick how gorgeous this swag looks like on the front door. I love all the silver and the white and just the little touch of glitter with the stems and all of the flat cedar that I am obsessed with. And as I mentioned before, we're gonna be carrying for you next year here at Ramon at Home. I really hope you enjoyed this swag. If you do, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and share it with a friend so they know about Ramon at Home. Now, if glam is not your cup of tea, I'm going to share with you this beautiful Christmas tree inspiration and Christmas swag on a peppermint theme. Let's take a look. Let me just get started real quick. The very first thing you need to do is fluff your wreath, your garland, your swag, your Christmas tree. Fluff, fluff, fluff is the very first thing you need to do. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab one of the bows that I made, a one loop bow. Remember to have your wire already ready. And I'm gonna add it right here to the top. And I'm just gonna basically swirl it once to the left to one of my bristles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a big loop like this. And I'm gonna go all the way in right here. And then I'm gonna do it one more time, leaving just a few inches for a tail. And remember, we want those loops to be big like this because we want, we're gonna put bigger items on it, so we want to make sure that they show. So then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab the rest of this ribbon and I'm gonna drop it on the floor like I always do. Thumbs up for this video, you guys. Are you enjoying this holiday season? I'm having such a blast sharing with you guys all of these ideas, and I just hope that you are as well. So basically I just did a one loop, then you twist real quick. I'm gonna grab one of my wires. Always have all of your tools at the ready. That is the biggest secret I can give you when you are decorating. If you're out doing decorating for clients, if you're doing it for your store, if you're doing them to sell, have all of your tools at the ready, and that will help you be way faster than anyone else in the industry also. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do one more loop right here. And I'm doing one loops just because it's a smaller swag. In the Christmas tree and in a larger wreath, I would do two loops to create a bigger statement. But because this is a smaller swag, then I just wanna go ahead and do one loop bows. Then I'm gonna grab right here and I'm going to tie it and creating this loop right here. Make sure that you see all your tails. And let me go ahead and dovetail this one because you guys have cut me before where I'm preaching about dovetailing your ribbons, and I'm the first one who does not have one that is dovetailed. So I'm gonna dovetail right there. See how you see all the points? That is looking so pretty. So now I'm gonna introduce this really beautiful ribbon. Let me move this in case that you cannot see what I'm doing. I'm gonna put all materials to my right. So I'm gonna introduce this other really beautiful material. I'm gonna drop it on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail. A lot of people say ducktail. I said dovetail, but you can say whatever you want. There is no wrong or right. So because I'm gonna start right here on the top, I'm gonna do a 3-loop bow. So I'm gonna do one, and look how easy it is. You basically just pinch, 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 fluff, twist, and then you will, once again, this is how you're gonna measure it. Your measuring guide, and then you twist right there, and see how we have 3 loops. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my wire, I'm gonna pull back all the way very tightly, then twist once or twice, and then we're going to introduce this right here on the top with the other bow. I'm just gonna make sure that I grab this bristle and I give it a little spin like that, and see we're creating kind of like a funky bow, making sure that all of these tails show. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do bigger loops once again, and I'm gonna go right in the middle and see how that's filling in. I'm gonna do one right there, and then I'm gonna grab my ribbon and I'm gonna do one more right here. Basically just cross those bristles. You guys, if I can do this, so can you. Trust me when I tell you, this is the easiest thing you'll ever do for your Christmas decorating, and I really hope that you are giving it a try. I just want to give you the ideas, and that way you can make it your own and create your very own version of what you see. And if you do that, be sure to send me the picture on Instagram or tag me, because I would like to share with everybody else so they're seeing what you're able to do. So if you are replicating any of the looks this year, I recommend to tag me on Instagram so I can share with the world and they can see it, see your talents. So basically I did a 3-loop bow right here, and I have one right here. Remember, I did a 1 loop. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a 2-loop bow, and we're gonna go on the other side, and that's gonna create some depth. So I'm gonna do 1, pinch, twist, fold, pinch, and twist. See how easy that was? Grab your wires that we already have pre-cut and And we're going to really tightly without letting go. 1, 2. And so now this one I'm going to introduce right here on this side. I'm gonna grab one bristle, give it 2 twists, fluff. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a few loops to fill in on this side. But right now what I wanna do is I wanna introduce these little ones, these little ribbons that I have already pre-wired. I'm gonna use 2, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add 1 to this side, and look how that's going to be incorporated into the bow, into our funky bow. And so now we have 3 types of ribbons. We're gonna do one right here, and then we're going to do another one over here. How cute is this, you guys? I love the peppermint or the candy cane theme for Christmas. I just think it is classic. It is fun if you have any children to really make it fun for them, colorful, very playful. All right, so I'm gonna do one more right there. I'm gonna do a loop and I'm going to attach right here. So cute. All right, so the next thing I wanna add is gonna be some of this flat cedar that I have. And this is gonna be kind of like our flyaways, okay? So basically you wanna give them some shape like this. I'm gonna open up right here and I'm gonna insert one right here. And just grabbing one of these branches from my swag is gonna let it stay. I'm gonna put one right here. This is what we did to our Christmas tree, which by the way, if you have not seen the Christmas tree to match this theme, it was absolutely spectacular. It had some characters hanging off and grabbing a garland. It was just so much fun. If you have not seen, I'm gonna put on the iCard right now and then also in the description box below so you can check it out. But it was probably my favorite Christmas tree that I've ever done. And let me tell you, I've done some Christmas trees here on the channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach another one right here. And see to where before you thought there was a lot of ribbon, now when you start adding these picks, it really starts hiding the ribbon and giving a dimension. So I'm gonna add one right here on the top. And just grabbing one bristle and just twisting, and it's gonna make that stay. And of course we're gonna go in the back later and then bring all of these ribbons back out. But first it kinda gets flat. All right, so I'm gonna add, one over here. I'm gonna go all the way on the top. I'm gonna grab one of these bristles and just twist it around. Look how fun this was. Oh my gosh, love it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my first ornament, which is going to be this red one. And I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna look for a bristle. And the way I'm gonna attach with my wire is I'm gonna grab the bristle with my left hand and I'm gonna push this ornament as far in as I can, then I'm gonna twist it. That way it looks like it's growing from the swag. And I'm gonna show you one more time. I'm gonna add a white one next. Remember what happens on the left happens on the right. So now I'm gonna go to the right and I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna touch with my left hand side. I'm gonna grab this bristle and then I'm gonna push in as far as I can this ornament and then I'm gonna twist. And so that way it's gonna stay right there. How fun is this? Oh, that is so cute. Right, so now I'm gonna do this peppermint one and I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna grab this bristle and I'm gonna, with my left, push all the way in and then give it a twist. And that ornament's gonna stay right there. There's no wind that is going to be strong enough to take this apart, I promise you. All right, so now we start fluffing all of our bows. So now the thing that I'm going to add is going to be this really beautiful candy cane or peppermint popsicles. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give it a little curvature like this to create the hook. And once again, you wanna go ahead and dip this into your glue and then you wanna go ahead and add them as it goes down like this. And with these particular candy canes, you want to make sure that you have them kind of clustered together. So I'm going to add 2 right here. I'm going to add one right here because it will show better if you have them clustered together than if you don't. So basically, I'm going to give this a little curvature like this. And I'm going to add this guy right here. Also, what you could do is just grab one of your bristles and give it a twist. But look how fun this is, you guys. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this one, but because this one's gonna go on the bottom, I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it going up. All right, everyone. So I just want to show you the end result of this beautiful peppermint swag or candy lane swag I just love all of the color and texture on this. I did go ahead and add a 3 poinsettias like the ones on the tree. As you guys can see, there's one right here, one over in the middle, and one on the top. And that just gives it that last finishing touch that you needed to really tie in with the Christmas tree. I cannot wait to read your comments, so give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment to let me know what do you think about this particular look. All right, you guys, so what do you think? Which out of all of these beautiful Christmas swags was your favorite? I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave me a comment down below and let me know which of these swags was your favorite and the reason why. And if you want to watch more videos, remember I always put a playlist right here with all of the Christmas trees, swags, wreaths, and all of the inspiration you need in order to create beautiful things in your home this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.